Hi, welcome to the Amy Noel on Dyslexia YouTube channel. This is a channel for parents of kids with dyslexia, and today's video is on how to help your dyslexic child for free. What do you do when your child is struggling academically, emotionally, and maybe even socially, but you have no money to hire a tutor or send your child to a dyslexia school? For a lot of years, I didn't feel like I had any money to buy resources for my children, and the things I did happen to buy promised quick fixes and they didn't work. We know exactly what it takes to help children with dyslexia learn to read and write. It's structured literacy, or Orton-Gillingham instruction, which I have a video about. Children with dyslexia also need assistive technology. It's important to teach children with dyslexia how to use assistive technology so they can use it throughout their life. You can homeschool your child with dyslexia, and I have a video all about that, so I'll just refer you to it. If you're going to keep your child in public school, you need to hold the school accountable for offering a free, appropriate public education to your child. You need to get your child a 504 or an IEP. To save yourself time, request that they get tested in writing and express your concerns in writing. Then your school has a certain amount of time to test your child and get back to you with the results from the school psychologist. You need to ask the school to provide a structured literacy program and that your child get instruction in that regularly, like 3 times a week, 4 times a week, in a small group or one-to-one. I think it's really important that schools have reading specialists. I know that some do, but currently our schools don't have any reading specialists that are certified in the International Dyslexia Association approved programs. You also need to ask for assistive technology for your student, like speech-to-text, computers, things to help with note-taking. If your child is struggling with math in school, you also need to request a structured program for math, like Jump Math or Math UC. Hiring an advocate is a great thing to do right away when you have a child in special education to support you in your IEP meeting so you know what to ask for, and a good advocate will know the laws and hold the school accountable. Hiring an advocate if you don't have money is not an option, but there are Facebook support groups for special education advocates and they can give you free advice. Maybe one of them would even help you for free. The problem with the school system is that even if you request the meeting at the end of one meeting, you have to wait a whole nother month till the next meeting. So the schools can sometimes drag this process out. In order to speed that up, you can request an alternative dispute resolution, mediation, or file due process. You don't have to worry about not having money to hire a lawyer. There are community centers in a lot of areas that support school-age children with disabilities or up to age 22. At one of these community centers, my friend got a list of lawyers who are willing to help parents for free. How it actually works is that the school ends up paying the lawyer fees for the parent. Special education advocates have told me that in some school districts they recommend going straight to due process because of the way that school district runs. So it would be helpful to get advice from advocates in your area. Regardless of whether or not you have your child in school or you're homeschooling, I highly recommend that you learn how to work with your child at home. A little too late for one of my sons, I found a great YouTube channel by a reading specialist in Australia where he teaches parents how to teach their dyslexic children to read and write. The reason why I say I found it a little late was because by the time I saw those videos, I had so many negative interactions with my son trying to teach him in ineffective ways that he had really negative feelings associated with working with me. But we're slowly getting over that. This website is called Dyslexia Improvements, and I'll put a link in the description to the one video that's made for kids, so I couldn't put it in my playlist. And then I made a playlist for all of his videos on teaching your children to read and all of his videos on teaching your children to write. It's full of great tips for parents. Once you know these basic things, it makes a big difference when you read with your child just for like reading time, or if you're just reading here and there, like not reading books, but reading things in a cookbook or signs. Or for a lot of years while my children were in school, I did what is called after schooling, and I told their teachers that I wasn't going to do the homework that they assigned because I was working with my child teaching them to read. And I highly recommend this because it took a lot of pressure off. They were spending so much time trying to finish their homework when what they really needed to do was this structured literacy. For a lot of years I did this without a curriculum, but I have found that a cheap curriculum like Toe by Toe or Blast Off to Reading helps so much because all of those things that Dyslexia Improvements teaches are lined out in a little book. But I still recommend watching the videos so that you can apply the principles when you're just reading a storybook. Other things you can do for free to help your child is to play audiobooks for them. This is really helpful with vocabulary. If you can't afford an Audible subscription, you can watch YouTube videos of people reading books out loud. We've done this for years and my kids love it. If you have proof of disability, you can become a member of Bookshare. We became a member of Bookshare, but we haven't used it because the books have an automated voice, like a mechanic voice, and my kids don't like that. Learning Ally is a little better resource in my opinion because the books are read by real people, so it's not the mechanical voice. You need to provide proof of disability, and there's also an annual fee. If you can prove that you can't pay that fee, they say that they won't deny anyone from becoming a member. The last thing I want to talk about that you can do with your dyslexic child is to work on rapid automatic naming with them. Rapid automatic naming is required to pull information from your long-term memory. Struggles with rapid automatic naming are often an indicator of dyslexia. A good way to work on it is to practice it. I printed this off the internet. You just have the child go through and say which direction the arrows are pointing. If they can say it quickly, that's rapid automatic naming. The main way I like to practice rapid automatic naming is with sight words, because once my child learns the words, then doing rapid automatic naming with sight words helps them to review the sight words and practice that skill. To conclude, make sure you provide structured literacy for your dyslexic children either through the school or at home. Teach them how to use speech to text, read to them and let them listen to audiobooks, practice rapid automatic naming, and make sure to get advice on Facebook support groups, especially if you're trying to hold the school accountable for providing a free, appropriate public education. Check out the links and resources in the description of this video. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you would like me to make a video about.